You know, John, as a kid, I worked in a fast food restaurant. It kind of made a lot of things possible for me. Now, is it true that Kentucky Fried Chicken helped finance your acting start?
Yes, the Colonel. The Colonel was my sponsor for many years. I want to thank Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken himself. Yeah, I was there for 2 years. I worked in the one in Chinatown. I worked the one in Times Square that closed down a couple of years ago. And one of the nights that I closed the place up with my brother came to help me out. The place went on fire that very day, and it ended Kentucky Fried Chicken in Chinatown, which is not a bad thing.
Now, you had a lot of really interesting jobs. Now, didn't you used to read law books to a blind person?
Who are you? It's Edgar Hoover. He knows, you know all these details. Yeah, I did. In college, I used to read to legally blind kids, and I used to read law books. I didn't know what the hell I was reading. I would just read, and I would fall asleep. And the guy would go, John, what is an interesting passage you're reading to yourself? And I'd be like, yeah, I just studying it to make sure I could comprehend it and make it comprehensible to you. And I would just read for hours, and I was like 4 hours every day, 5 hours just read law books.
Wasn't one of your very first gigs or performances, didn't you grab a microphone on a subway train or something?
When I was 16, me and my buddy Indio, my name was Risk, Kid Risk, my tag. It was summer, we were bored, you know, and so we broke into the subway conductor's booth, we took the microphone, you know, started telling jokes on it and goofing on it. Right. And then the cops came in, both plain clothes on both sides. I guess our act didn't go over very well. The comedy police were taking us away, and they grabbed us, handcuffed us, and I was like, yo, man, I didn't do nothing, man. It was like cops on Fox, you know, yo, man, get the hell out of here. And then my mom comes to the police station. She's like, my son, do you have to handcuff him? He's a little angel, please. Shut up, Mom.
Now, you shot Harrison Ford in Regarding Henry. Now,
it's a movie, right? I didn't really shoot.
Yeah. Now, after that, what unusual reactions did you get from people?
People running away from me when I hold a gun. I don't know why, it's so silly. Yeah. No, I mean, people, it's just, they think that I have some kind of like violent tendencies or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you're no stranger to carrying guns in movies. And
no, I've always carried a gun. Yeah. And every time I have one, I'm strapped right now. But Miami Vice, I had a gun. Regarding Henry, Die Hard 2, Casualties of War, Revenge, Street Hunter, you name it, I've had a gun. Even in Spikorama and Mama Mouth, I had guns.
Well, speaking of Die Hard 2, don't people have to look pretty hard to find you running around in the background on that movie?
Yes, they do. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I'm kind of subliminal in that movie. Okay. I was cast, actually, I auditioned here, and I was cast as terrorist number 2, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was a huge part. And but they had me on videotape, so they couldn't tell how tall I was. When I got out there for costume fitting, they found out that I was 5'8" and not 6'5", and they made me terrorist number 7. Then I was supposed to last till the end of the picture, and they killed me in the middle. They killed me with a mask on my head. Then they dubbed my voice over. It was like humiliation upon diss upon humiliation.
Now you're like co-starring in another movie with Sean Penn. I know you don't have a lot of scenes or anything with him, but in Casualties of War, wasn't he rather tough on you in that movie?
It was hard. I mean, because he's a methody type actor, and he played my sergeant, and if we carried it over. Like, we had a lot of military games for 2 weeks, and I was constantly getting on his nerves, and he made me do like 25 push-ups, and I said, I'm not playing. This is acting. I'm not going to do no damn push-ups. Because you better do them. And I'm going, no way. So it's like, you know, we got into little arguments, a little hostility. But I still liked him. I mean, he was always in character in Thailand, always. It's amazing.
I mean, John, I've always been fascinated when actors come to LA for the first time, or people visit. They always have that first Hollywood moment, that the first time they see a limousine, the Hollywood sign, or something that's uniquely Hollywood. What was it for you?
Oh, wow. It was just a while, but it was like 1988 when I first came. I was doing Casualties of War, and I don't know. I just the room we were in. We had a big rehearsal, and De Palma was there, and Sean Penn, and Michael J. Fox, and it was just being in a room like that in LA with all these actors, these heavy hitters. That was like awesome to me. That was like, and then went outside. We all like went to Roman's Chinese Theater, walked by there, put your footprints with Cary Grant and Bob Hope. You know.
Now, playing a gangster in this movie, now what kind of feedback are you fearing from real-life bad guys?
John Gotti and all those fellas. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of nobody, man. You know, I think it's going to be more of a positive thing than negative. I'll get all the gangsters to like me. They'll be going, yo, man, you were cool. You were all that, your boy. So I think I'm going to have a whole fan club of gangsters.
Okay. I've always been interested in when movies don't exactly turn out the way the actors think they will. I saw Super Mario Brothers on video, advanced copy. What exactly?
Turned out exactly the way I expected it to, as a matter of fact. Ruined your theory.
You know, what do you think happened with that movie? Why wasn't it, you know, a bigger success?
Yeah, especially with the crew and cast that they had. I mean, they had an incredible assemblage of people working on that. I think it had to do with the people who were at the helm. I mean, they made it really difficult to be creative, and they killed all sorts of input. I mean, it was one of the most difficult movie sets I've ever been on in my life. Most frustrating experience.
Okay. And one last question. You once said you wanted to play Robert Redford's son. Tell me why you said that.
Yes, I wanted to be as white as possible, to be accepted by my American people. I love America, yes. I mean, I was being facetious. I don't want to be his son. I don't want to be near him. It was just, you know, because being Latin, you know, there's a whole, like, stigma to being an ethnic person in this country. So I always said if I was born to be his son, I would be like, I would have the country in the palm of my hand. That's just all. It was kind of a political statement that I only understand. Nobody else does.